kind of go over some feature benefits, I guess. The other guys, I guess they just go down the line.
You can, just do it.
Just basically, first and foremost, we got fiberglass insulated air duct system. Okay, it's got a metal duct with R7 fiberglass insulation. Of course, the benefit of all that, of course, is to keep the moisture and condensation from building up on the helmet itself, on the vents themselves. Insulated air ducts, they also reduce the risk of mold, mildew, things of that nature, so you don't have to worry about anybody that has allergies in the family or anything like that as well. And of course, saves you on your energy bill altogether. And of course, if you do floor ducts, it is graduated air delivery system. Everybody knows what a graduated air delivery system is, right?
The ducts are graduated with the flex duct up top?
No, only if it's
Okay, yeah.
yes. Yeah, floor ducts. And then, of course, next thing, of course, is on our kitchen cabinets. We do have full depth kitchen cabinets. They're 12-inch cabinets versus some of our competitors are using a 10-inch cabinet, which obviously we don't have enough room for an average dinner plate, which is 11 inches. So you do the math, and you can be able to take it forward. Now, one of the other things too that we also have is our hidden hinges. Okay, they're very easily adjusted. Okay, so if you ever have any issues over time, they're easily adjusted. You don't have to take them off or anything like that, so it's easy to adjust. And adjustable shelving. That way you can fit any size vases or pitchers or anything like that that you want to put in the cabinets themselves. And one of the best things too that we have is our non-slam soft close hinges. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, that way, especially with the kiddos, just try to slam the deal so you don't have to worry about the wear and tear over time on your cabinets.
Do you have them available on the drawers?
We don't have them on the drawers yet. Yeah, we don't have them on the drawers just yet, but that's probably a good idea to bring up.
One other question, the bottoms, is there a way to get those finished out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with shelves.
Yeah, line shelves. You can add shelf. Do a base shelf if you wanted to. Absolutely. If I could do that, buy this house today. If I could do that, buy this house today.
Yeah. It was
Always
9.
close.
That make it a 10.
If you're gonna just put it on your radar, I keep telling Quest and Mike, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean,
if you do that, because I have
just do it
to
on
pay out of
all.
my GP to have it done after if I sell a stock.
I mean, you can do it on.
What is it, 325 or just not that much, is
It's
it?
like
It's
185.
cheap for them to do it.
I mean, it's 185 if you
Here,
just want to do the
being a
lining.
lot.
If you want to add the shelf, it's like another 140 or something like that.
Any home that comes here should have that.
Yeah,
It's so cheap.
Sure.
Yeah, I can do that moving forward. That's not a
Yes.
problem.
Every time they look up top, they're like, all right, cool. They look
And then the
up
line is like, why are they not?
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, it just seems they put so much importance in that, that they judge the rest of the house based on it.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. Of course, one of the next things too that we'd like to talk about is our stud-mounted electrical outlets and all of our light switches throughout the whole house. So you don't have to worry about some of our other manufacturers. What they do is they use those little wing nuts and just kind of go into the sheetrock and everything. Over time, it eventually just comes off. You don't want to have to worry about that. So each and every single one of these that you see is actually nailed and mounted to the stud. Okay. And not only that, it's also sealed. So especially the ones on the outer walls, they don't have any worry about energy efficiency as far as them being completely sealed off, so any air can't come through from the outside. Next thing, Whirlpool appliances, of course. Right now we do have all of our standards. We don't have any black appliances anymore, so it's just straight up stainless steel, the standard. You can do side by side with water and ice in the door as well. Of course, dishwashers, stainless steel. This is the only one that's going to be kind of a hybrid, have stainless steel and black. If you want to do a smooth top, you can do a smooth top where it's all stainless steel as well. Isn't that great? And right now we also have a promo package on if you upgrade the refrigerator, dishwasher, the stove, and that microwave for $24.95. All stainless steel.
Black no longer available, right?
Correct.
2400?
$24.95.
2495.
If you put a microwave over the top, is there
You get cabinet doors, yeah.
Is it-
It'll be, and it's still vented it out.
$24.95.
Spin it out like the side, right?
Yeah, spin it out and over.
Just like that.
We call it the diamond package, something.
But that package, what if you wanted the
Like that?
hood? What does that change it to?
You could actually,
Interchange that?
instead if you didn't want the microwave and you just wanted like the canopy,
Yeah.
stainless steel canopy, same price.
Really?
That's the glass one?
Yeah.
Not the glass, no, the one that you see in the, Celebration U
Yeah,
model.
just
that-
straight
that-
stainless
that-
steel.
Yeah, the straight stainless one.
Oh, yeah.
Canopy.
Yep.
We still got that last one though, doesn't it?
No, that one in the celebration does not.
Oh.
Does not have the black bottom.
Yeah, we haven't had that glass in a long time. Not for our product, I mean,
That's
it's,
all right.
it's out
I really
there.
go out there and take, no big deal.
I think Fort Worth still does, they don't do that anymore either? Okay. But,
For the few stops. It's in
next thing is Super PEX water lines. Everybody know what Super PEX water lines are?
the, no, PEX is not super PEX.
We got Super PEX. We don't do no PEX. Okay, we go super here. All right. So Super PEX water lines, of course, is going to be your white and red water lines coming out right there. You do have all the parts and everything comes straight from Super PEX water lines, and that gives you the 25-year warranty that comes with it. Okay, so you don't have to worry about. One of the biggest things about it is it's got to be negative 95 outside for it to be either freeze or bust. And we got a little close about a year or so ago. Feels like it anyway, but of course, and a good testament is that we didn't get a single call on plumbing when it had to do with that freeze that we had.
Write that
I
down,
mean,
though. True story. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
all
a good-
time.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a single call on it. You know, we like to have a house that you don't have to worry about your plumbing even when it freezes. I mean, granted, it doesn't happen very often here in Texas, but when it did, it still surpassed and didn't have any issues whatsoever. So, again, 25-year warranty on those as well. Next thing we want to talk about, of course, we have residential style doors. Of course, you don't have to worry about any, the mobile home doors or anything like that. So all of our interior doors are residential style. We do have an opportunity sometimes if you need, depending if it has enough space, if you need to widen the door, we can always widen it a little bit more, especially if you have any handicap or wheelchair accessible as far as that goes as well.
You can widen all the interior doors?
If there's enough space.
Okay.
If there's enough room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good to know.
What does that make it a 38?
36.
36.
Yes.
Okay.
It would make it a 36. Yeah. Our flooring itself is a OSB floor decking, okay? We do use a triple fastening, which is, we use tongue groove, okay? Which basically, instead of putting two pieces of board together side by side like that, which over time, that's where you get your bowing and your bowing in the floors themselves. So we use a tongue and groove method to fasten them together. We also use glue to glue them down to all the floor joists as well. And we use fasteners that have resin on the tips of the fasteners themselves, so that when the gun shoots it down, the heat of itself right there will actually keep that fastener down so it doesn't raise back up. You don't have to worry about it, raising up and onto your boat floors itself. So that's every single floor decking throughout the house. Boat floor, of course. The good thing about boat floor is that the pattern itself repeats itself every 3 feet. Okay, so if for whatever reason movers come in, you end up getting a scratch or something to the effect of it, it is very easily to cut a section out and put in another section. You wouldn't even tell the difference of where it's at. But it is very scratch resistant, easy to clean. Maintenance on it is very easy.
Is both for where you? It feels like it's kind of you can indent it a little bit, can't you? Did you feel that? Yeah,
It's got
it's got a little bit of goods to
It's
it.
kind of cushion to it.
Yeah.
It's not like the paper linoleum.
Right.
Like the Days
Okay.
Mold. It's more of a
That's what I thought.
rubberized type.
Yeah.
So it's very easily to,
Nice.
when you're walking on it and all that as
Okay.
well. So absolutely.
Take a coin. That's a good demonstration.
Another thing too, if you notice, we also, all of our marriage lines have the same color matching transition bars. So it helps to ease the flow of the house itself. Some of our
That's installed with the home sweet home.
with the welcome home, yes.
Yeah, welcome home, sorry.
Absolutely.
That wrong back. Welcome home,
Of
yeah.
course, Coleman furnace, 2-year warranty on our Coleman furnaces, on all of our homes as well, so you don't have to worry about that. And, you know, speaking of, welcome home, well, we'll do that last. LED can lights throughout, okay? Except of course when there's a ceiling fan, but you do have LED can lights throughout, and they are standard on all of our homes. It does save you a lot of money on your energy bill. You know, they say it's up to 80% of your electric bill can be saved when you're using LED can lights. You don't have to worry about replacing them. Haven't had any issues with any of them going out since we've been using them for quite a few years now. So, thermal pane windows, of course. You know, we have thermal pane windows, dual pane windows throughout. They are the easy fold-out windows as well.
There we go.
Easy to clean. Easy to clean, come on in, right here, easy to clean themselves. Low-E thermal windows.
Low, yeah. That's a vinyl, is that a vinyl?
It is a
tint?
vinyl. It is a vinyl tint on it, okay? Another cool thing about what we do as well, you notice here on the inside of our window seal, is we use the same material that we use on the outside of the house, on the inside of all of our window seals. Now, the good thing about that is, like a day like today, you have the windows open like this. Let's say it starts to rain. It starts raining. You don't have to worry about this thing getting wet right here because it is designed to get wet. Like I said, it's from the exterior, so you don't have to worry about the window seals or anything like that ever rotting out.
Unique
whatsoever.
point right there. That's unique, the factory
So,
specific.
and then all this is also backed by our welcome home package, which is basically you'll have a technician that'll come in before you even move into your home. Come in, make sure that all the walls are sealed, seamed together, the flooring is seamed together, everything is all put together. You're gonna have a 170-point check and walkthrough with the factory technician. And it is a factory technician that comes out. It's not just some subcontractor. It's somebody that we use on a regular basis. So you do have them come in, you do a walkthrough with them, sign off on everything before you ever even move into your home. Okay, that way you don't have to worry about, like some of the other manufacturers out there, what they'll do is they'll have somebody, hey, take the next 30 days, write down a list, what you need, what's going on, what's wrong. It might take another 30 days for them to schedule it to come back out. But of course, we want you to be moving in and not have any eyesores or anything when you move in whatsoever. So, all right, any questions?
We asked a lot of them.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you did. That's throughout.
So, do a little recap of what you got out of this as far as factory specific stuff, and then we'll do a little feature benefit. Well, you Mendoza, what was your BGO or
Lining them the obvious.
golden nugget, I should say, right? Mike's golden nugget.
Let's see. With the window seals for sure, didn't know that. Didn't know that was.
You only get one.
Oh, okay.
That's your one?
Yeah, that's one more.
Okay. Everybody's thunder. Who else would like to, the golden nugget, what'd you get?
I was talking about the bow floor, how it's scratch resistant, and I didn't know that every 3 feet it duplicates the same pattern. So if you do happen to get a scratch or a tear or a burn or something like that, you can cut out a square and it can match up to same square
Repeats
adjacent.
itself every 3
Yes,
feet.
it repeats itself. So instead of like what do we call it, paper vinyl?
Like the paper old school vinyl.
Yeah. So I didn't know that. That's gotta be important to you, right?
Yeah, Will.
The outlets, they're fastened to the studs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very good feature. Let customers know. You know, if you got a plug, sometimes how they get kind of stuck in there. You don't have to worry about it ripping it out because it's attached to the stud.
And it's nailed to the, you can
Nailed to
say
the
nailed
stud.
to the stud, yeah.
And mine was, I like emotion, so I felt emotional when he said that, you know, he has the Super Pex plumbing, that he uses super, and that they got 0 calls in our blizzard, our freeze that put Texas
That's
Yeah.
so
on their
strong,
heels.
man.
They got zero, not even one phone call for busted pipe.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So let's do this. So now that you showed
I just
your,
had a question. So with regard to the fact, somebody told me that Fleetwood is the only one that used the proper
Fittings.
That is
fittings.
correct, because that gives us a 25-year warranty.
Right.
straight
Is that the
from-
super?
That's a super
Super
part.
fittings.
that's a super fitting, yes,
Yes.
super tech fitting.
And yes, that is correct. All the
Olivia
elbows
has-
and everything that we use, yes, is straight from PEX water, Super PEX water lines. So that gives us the, be able to do the 25-year warranty
Nice.
straight from that.
And one of our employees, Olivia, has a Fleetwood, and she was amazed because she had friends at other type of homes and site-built homes and that had leaks during that time with the freeze, and she had zero issues with her Fleetwood 2856.
Awesome. And I know she also had a 716 by 76.
No, the other one's a 05.
Okay. Okay, so now that you picked that, now that you picked your golden nugget, now I want you to feature advantage benefit that very thing that you just realized. So who wants to go first?
I'll go. All right, Shane, I see we're walking around. We have a full house here, no carpet. It's throughout. I just forgot. It's called Bow Floor. It is.
You're doing great. Go ahead.
Okay, I almost forgot the name of it. It's Bow Floor, and something that's really unique about the Bow Floor, number one, is that the marriage line is going to be in the same color or in the same tone that your floor is, so it makes a better match and maybe doesn't stick out as much. Obviously, that's important to you to cosmetically appeal, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Something else that I really love about this floor, I think you'll like and your family will like, is that it's tear resistant and scratch resistant. But, God forbid, we're not gonna throw anyone's problems, but if it does tear somewhere, every 3 feet, it has a similar pattern. So you can replace a damaged part of the floor without having to pull up walls and redo a whole section. Is that important to you? You see the benefit and the cost savings of not having to do that?
How much would that cost you to replace?
Cost you a couple $3,000 to have it replayed, pulled up, and then brought back in and put back in.
Yeah.
So, not even including the interruption of life and having your kids run around. You know what I'm, so. you understand?
I want bow floor.
There you go.
I'm in line for bow floor.
If I can get you both for it, and I'll get you set up for that. You wanna buy it today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's ink it on the island.
Okay.
All right, good job. Remember feature, advantage,
Feature,
benefit.
event, okay.
Benefit as to what's benefiting them in their life.
Then whatever, if somebody does say how much will that cost, but Shane was kind of key. Most people don't say that, but
Yeah.
Shane was just reminding you, you always want to give a cost.
Okay.
But what you want to say is that could cost. You want to ask them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If they ask you how much it cost, I don't know, how much would you think it would cost? I'd say it'd be, a lot. Could be, a few hundred, a couple thousand. I don't know.
Usually
I would,
thousands.
I would just say thousands.
Thousands.
Right? Because we
You don't
really
wanna
know.
paint yourself in a corner.
Sure. But that's, Shane was just reminding you that you always want to tie every benefit to some type of cost.
Got
Right,
it.
some type of.
If you had to do that
Monetary.
later,
Fine.
if you had to do that later and you couldn't just replace that one section, you had to replace the whole room, how much do you think that would cost you and your family?
Yeah, you wanna tie it to their DBO.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
They're moving out of an apartment because their car's been broken in 10 times, there's a security issue, but maybe the front door, you're gonna do that, the locks in the front door,
Mhm.
and then tie it to fear. But the best one is profit, right? Or,
DVM and monetary.
yeah, monetary, so.
All right.
Next.
Okay, next. All right, Mr. Customer, we just went over
Glad you're
your,
filming.
we went over your thermal pane windows and the energy advantages that this brings for you. But another feature that is unique to Fleetwood is the seals here. It's the same material that they use on the outside. So if you guys are on your new property, you got the windows open, you got the fresh country air blowing, and then a storm comes in, normally what's gonna happen is your window seals are gonna get wet, and what's gonna happen?
They're gonna swell up and
How
turn into mush.
How much do you think that's gonna cost to replace?
Oh, man, I don't even know, I mean, at least $2,000-3,000.
Something you don't wanna deal with.
Yeah.
Right? So the great news is, this is standard on all of our homes. It's weather resistant, and the benefit is you're never gonna have to replace that when and if it does get wet. So, boom.
I like it.
Great job.
Good job.
And remember, these specific benefits are ones you know you absolutely have on a Fleetwood, right?
Yeah.
General benefits are that you know are in any house, right? Those are the ones you cover before you know which house you have them on, right? Specific benefits you cover once you know you have them on a Fleetwood home, and then you can make that statement. This is in every one of our Fleetwood homes, right? All right, Will.
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I'd like to point out, if you look around the wall sockets in this room, we've got more wall sockets in this room than most any other manufacturer that you've seen. And not only do you have a lot of wall sockets in the room, all of these sockets here are nailed to a stud in the wall. All right, so what that does is, in case you get a cord stuck in there and you're pulling on that thing, you don't have to worry about pulling this out of the wall. And if you had a home that they wasn't nailed to the studs, and you start getting these sockets getting pulled out of the wall, how much you think that's going to cost you to replace those sockets? Well, with this, you don't have to worry about that.
And cut.
Good job. Good job. And he did tie it to how much you think that's going to cost. And then obviously there would be an interaction at the real customer, right? But that covers the specific. Now let's say that you don't know if you have them on this house or not, and you want to feature and benefit something that you know is in every home. Well, all of our homes, even Trues, have dual pane windows, right? So you can cover the dual pane windows. Don't cover whether it's whether they have
Thermal E.
Yeah, don't cover whether they're low E, because the only factory that does low E is
15 and
15. Well, the only one that does it standard is 05 is the only one that does it standard. 15 you have to option it in, and it might be, do y'all have an option for they don't have an option for low E, so don't mention that if you're in a Fleetwood, right? So you have to know your factory specific things, but you can feature and benefit like Shane does. He always puts his hands here, right? You
Yeah.
see this? You can do that on a True. You can do that on every home. So you need to have 5 or 10 feature and benefits that you know you can do on every home, and then you need to be a product expert and have at least 5 feature benefits that are factory specific. Now you can interact with the customers in all the homes, and then once you get them on their target home, you go into your 5 that are for that factory. But you have to spend the time doing that yourself, right? Other things that are in any factory, before you come in the home, you could point out the frame and say we custom build each frame to every home, right? Because essentially frames are custom made, the size, they're customized to every home, right? Mm-hmm. So that's something you can do on every home. What are some other things you can do on every home?
Well, one thing I don't want to leave from forgetting, but when you're talking about those, I would go more the safety route, like for children. If they pulled out of the wall, you've got exposed wires. I mean, what's the worst that can happen there?
Motion.
I mean,
That's a good
like
point.
a trip to the hospital or worse. So,
Fear.
yes. So that's what I would hit on this electrical, because
Yeah, great point.
kiddos, right?
Yeah.
But what were you were saying?
Well, I was just saying, what are some other features that you can hit in this home, but also in every home? Let's say a True home. Hey, this is Class A fire rated sheetrock. Okay, this is sheetrock. Although it's got a paper on it, it's not what you see in an apartment or some site-built homes. It is sheetrock, fire rated. It's not like what you used to see 20, 30 years ago, where it was like a wood panel and you've got a cigarette close to it and it would light up like fire, right? This is Class A fire rated sheetrock, which is safe for you and your family, and is a very residential. What's another thing that could be in any home?
Most of them have the LED lights.
LED lights, thermopanes,
Smart panel siding.
smart panel. would be-
Good point. Smart panel. You can do that on a True. You can do that on a Fleetwood, right? So smart panel. So what else?
Whirlpool appliances.
There you go.
pretty much everywhere.
Just, I would say name brand appliances, because you never
Name
know.
brand.
Sometimes you're doing mana, you know. So I would just say name brand appliances with great warranties, right? Then insulation, you know, we're gonna do upgrade insulation in our Trues and these. So just insulation, the frame, Class A fire rated sheetrock, dual pane windows, name brand appliances, that's 5. So you can do that in any home, right? But get your 5 and then get in the habit, it gives you an opportunity to interact. Because when they're in the office, they're kind of closed. They're not nearly as interactive. When you get them in the house, their guard goes down, they become more interactive, they're more engaged, they're more excited. So as you're going through the homes, first home, maybe point out 1 or 2 features. Second home, 1 or 2 more. Third home, more features. Then you'll know which is your target home, and then you get them back to that home, and that's where you go to 5 or 10 feature benefits. And if you're in your target home and they're running around and they're looking at it and they're getting all excited, wait until they get done with that, and then say, okay, let me show you some things in this home that bring more value to you and your family. Any questions you have? You know, if you all looked around, it's amazing, isn't it? Now follow me. Let me show you some things that bring you more value. Come over here. Look at this outlet. Look at this. Come down here. Look at this floor. You see this pattern? It repeats every 3 foot. Come over here. Touch this window. Feel this. This is outside siding. Now you're interacting. But if you try and do that right when they walk in the home, or when they're finally deciding it's their target home, they're distracted. You're not engaged. You have to say, now that you've looked around, do you have any questions? Doesn't this house feel great? And action. Now, let me show you a few things that bring more value to you and your family. Right this way. Right?
Then do the show.
Because then if you get them touching, feeling, you will be doing what a lot of your competitors are too lazy to do. And in this market, it's a competitive market. And if your competitors are too lazy to do it, it's just got to be sincere, and you got to make a connection. So pay attention to your customer and notice are they looking off, are they on their phone, or are they engaged with you? And then act accordingly to either get them engaged, figure out what the distraction is, and give them time to get off of it, and then get re-engaged. Okay, Javi, any points that you want to make for that? Javi used to be the general manager with Palm Harbor, and he was in sales.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is when you start trying to feature benefit something that they're really not interested in, they're not listening to you, and you have to find a way to get them, like you said, getting them engaged first and foremost, and finding out which is the correct house. I mean, if they're not engaged for whatever reason, most likely it's probably not the right house.
Right.
Okay, so you got to get them engaged. You got to get them going. And the best thing is also, like what Mike was saying, get them to actually feel when you're talking about the window sills. Get them to touch it. Look, check this out. Get them to actually open. Let them be the ones to open the doors. Let them shut the hinges. You know, the slow close hinges. Let them be the ones to do all that. That way they get a better feel out of it.
Test drive.
Yeah, and so you also want to know your buyer. Who's your buyer of the group? You know,
Yeah, exactly.
who's driving the bus? Because two things are going to happen. When they walk in, they're going to be one way when they're walking through a burn house, or maybe the second one. But as you're working towards the target home, they're going to be acting the same way when they hit the target home. You know, in the first and second home, they might be talking, and that customer hits the target home, they're going to get quiet. Now they're interested. Or it could be exactly the opposite. They can be quiet, and then when they hit their target, now they're talking. You know, so that you just got to be conscientious of that, seeing that emotional transfer from one attitude to the next, right? And so just know that. And I like it when they get quiet. When they're talking, also when they get quiet. I'm like, okay,
then
it's game time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah, then they're thinking.
You know.
And when you're going to your feature benefit, you might have to do a little bit of a shock and awe and say, you know, hey, let me show you some things that bring your family more value. That's a valid statement, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes there's not enough power to that statement, so you might have to say, hey, Will, you like to spend time with your family, right?
Right.
You like to, I do too. You like to, go to movies, go to dinners, have some money to do things.
Yeah.
Man, me too. Man, that time is so valuable. Let me show you a few things about our home that are gonna give you the chance to spend more time and money with your family. Okay? These are some things that are specific to this home that I think is really gonna benefit you and your family from a time and money standpoint. Because we can never have enough of those, right?
Right.
You agree?
Yeah.
Let me show you. Time and money, time and money, time and money. Hey Will, speaking of money, I got $20 fine for you if you can find the seam on this countertop. Find the seam on the countertop, anywhere in the kitchen. Look closely.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I would think there would be one here, but there's none. So right here.
Okay, we're gonna use this $20 to buy you lunch.
No 20 for you.
And we're gonna use this $20 to buy you lunch because we're gonna help you own this home today, and you eat lunch here at the office with us, okay? Because there is no seam in the countertop, and that means that if the water splashes over here, it's not gonna get in there, and you're gonna see that big swell up like you see on a lot of, homes that do have a seam in the countertop. Right? So that's probably, I don't know if true, before you have that little contest with a customer, make sure you look. I don't know if True has seams in their countertops, but you don't. So that's a Fleetwood specific thing. And if you've ever looked at an old used manufactured home and it gets water around the sink and there's a seam, guess what it does?
Yeah.
Pops up. So that's a valid thing that, now there are seams here, right? So Javi would have got the $20, but the seams are on the edge, but there's no seam. In the condo I live in, I got a big seam because my countertop is about this size and there's a big seam.
Formica in there?
No, it's some kind of.
Hard surface.
Italian marble.
But there's a seam here.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a piece that
I couldn't cut the rock up.
big. But that's not uncommon. But I hate it because like food or when my little boy spills his applesauce, it gets in that seam and you can see it, So in any case, get familiar with, that's just another Fleetwood specific, but also, all your 05s, your 15, the only one I'm not sure about is True. Right?
Yeah.
Shane?
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
Any other questions?
Did you say how thick your sheetrock is?
Well, if it's gonna be the TNT that we're doing, it's 1/2 inch, otherwise it's 3/8.
3/8. But with TNT, it's half inch.
Yes.
All right.
And you're back to doing TNT?
They're back?
Yes.
We're back to the TNT in the main areas, living room, kitchen, dining, and master bedroom.
Okay.
And upflow everything?
500, yeah, upflow everything, yeah, except for the, single
And
T.
I prefer to, anytime you order a house, I mean, this is only
Always.
like $300-400.
Oh, the texture sealing, yeah,
Yeah.
it's about 600, I think. But yeah.
600,
so
but
worth it.
that's so worth it. It's actually a really good texture job in my opinion. And to not have the seams, it separates itself. So-
Like in the 2856, you have that.
And another thing that they were pointing out too, Beaker, that I can
Yes.
start adding is making sure that
Yes,
supplying all
please.
your cabinets, base cabinets, it's only about $185.
Yeah, I
We
think
had a problem.
It's important to customers.
Everybody
It
looks
was
at
Coleman or
cabinets,
Washington?
absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
important to customers.
That's
it was
awesome.
in, the problem was we had two, a brother and sister bought a home.
Yeah.
The sister got the line cabinets, the brother did not. So guess what? They think that their house was incomplete.
I got you.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Perception is everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's a rare case because the home was set up and they saw it, but, you're
People
not
have this
gonna-
whole thing, like, your old lady came and was talking about weights. A lot of people come, they look right there, and that
Right.
supposedly
Sets the tone.
tells them
Yeah,
everything
so
about
a couple
this
of
home.
things, and all of our stock units are 30 in the ceiling.
Mhm.
That's something we want to do. You guys don't offer the tech shield.
Right.
You should campaign for that because that's
Well, we were using it, and I can campaign to get it again, yes.
Well, it's
We were using it.
probably the highest leverage in my opinion, other than the low E. I think that those are two things that you could campaign for.
We've been
because
campaigning those low E windows forever.
Okay.
But we're trying to get with the Ray to see if we can just go.
That moves your
standard
R,
on that.
from what I understand, the low E moves your R values the most,
Yes.
you know, for the home. But I would think, like, I mean, I would even probably option in some stock units, the Tech Shield and the low E, if you'll give a reasonable option price on it, because now we're really building a Yeti cooler for our customer, and their low electricity bills are gonna benefit our referral business.
Yeah.
Is my philosophy. So low, the R30 for sure. Line cabinets, let's get that in every one. And anything else that we wanna have, in every stock unit?
I say, one piece fiberglass. I mean,
Okay. Another one that.
I don't,
The shower tub, you mean?
and the second
The
bath.
shower.
Does anybody, run into that with their dumpster? How much is that?
To replace the one in the shower is $310. The one in there is gonna be like $485, I believe.
It's just when they go in, it's not near as noticeable in the masters. You don't have to do it in the master, but in the air, you walk in there and almost everyone's bowed out from the wall. And you can see right in there, and it's just, it's just cracking.
I would in the, yes.